Okay guys, wanted to give you a highlight of how I am putting these cups back on after I've done my tachometer and speedometer and replaced the face plates in there, made sure everything works. I think I used a little bit of lithium grease on some of the gears just to make sure everything was good. But these covers slide right on, and what I'm doing is just using a little bit of a clamp there to push down, and not real hard. A little piece of wood that I've got there because I don't want to do this on my nice desk. And then I've already done this one. Let's see if we can get it really to focus in. And you can kind of see how it's been crimped back around the edges. That's when you really focus in, you can kind of see it. Doesn't look that great, but it really does. It works. Where on this one, you see I haven't done it at all. So you're just going to apply a little bit of pressure there. And what I've found is to take yourself a nice big screwdriver, one that's rounded, and then you will come in here and really push down and bend and push down and bend. And then you can twist this cup around so that you can access it and really kind of leverage in there. I'm left-handed, so I do everything backwards, in case you haven't noticed. So sometimes I can't, get my arm in there, so you have to twist this around and give it just a little bit of tension on there, enough to hold it. But by getting it down and then rolling, that's what gets that back on here real nice. And you don't have to use pliers or anything to crimp it down. And it looks really good. I'm really pleased with it. I'm ready to get the rubbers going for this, get them in the cups, and start putting together my console. So just wanted to capture that for you guys before I started doing it, and it was magically done. Okay guys, just wanted to show you I've started on these emblems. I got these off the old tank that I got on eBay. I'll show you that later. And I'm just using, because it's cold outside, I'm just using this citrus strip. It's safe to use indoors, and it works pretty good. I've used it on a couple projects. These are aluminum, and the black paint and everything is starting to bubble and come right up, so it's no big deal. The plan is, let me show you up here. I'll paint these badges all white with the Rust-Oleum here. And then I will use here just some generic universal flat black, because that was what was in it. And use that to paint the letters black on top of the white that I'm going to spray. Then I will flip these over so they're face down on some hard sandpaper, hard surface with sandpaper, and slide them back and forth, and that will take off the paint and leave the silver edges, which you can kind of see highlight like the H and the A. Those are all natural aluminum silver, so I'll sand that off. And then I'll hit them with a couple coats of the Rust-Oleum clear coat, clear gloss. I was looking for like a satin, but they didn't have it. I don't think a clear gloss is really going to detract that much from it. And then those will be ready to go on the bike. Let me show you real quick, because I don't think I showed anybody this. This is the old tank that I bought off of eBay for 60 bucks. And I just kind of took a screwdriver and pried those off of there. And I've cleaned this up. It was all covered in dirt and everything. So I pried the emblems off, and that's how I got those. And then they should pop back on this tank. The tanks are very, very similar, but they're not exact. I think maybe this tank is from a 200, an RD200, and this is a 350. I did some measurements on them, and everything is really close. It's just, yeah, it might be my ADD going a little bit. This one seems to flare a little bit more down here. And maybe it was the years too, because this is like a 74 or 75 tank, and this is a 73. I don't know. But they measure up height-wise. They're level this way, front to back. If I measure across that badge with a flat tape, cloth tape, they measure the same. It's just some of the inside dimensions look a little wonky to me. But like I said, maybe it's just my OCD going. And then this is the gas cap. I've started polishing on that off of this one. So it will fit mine come the right time. And I took it apart just to clean it. I've started to put my console together here, so you can see my speedometer and tachometer in there. Started to clean up my front plate here. It had some dents in it, so I took hammer and dolly, flipped it over, scraped all the old glue off the back where I could. So that's getting ready to go. I guess it'll go in that way when I get ready to permanently affix it there. So yeah, making a lot of progress, doing some indoor activities, waiting on a new seat to come. Just wasn't happy with the added foam in here. It probably would work, but I'd have to cut a lot more out of here. So I just took it off the seat. I'll give that a quick sand down. Some 80 and 180 maybe. And then I ordered new foam. It was like 40 bucks. So just giving you updates. Thanks for watching. Okay guys, just back from Hoy Vintage Cycle. Got some brand new tires, tubes on here, balanced, rotated, all that fun stuff. These are Duro tires, D-U-R-O. Forget which is what. I think this is HF314, and I think the back is a 319. That's just their Duro model numbers. It cost me about 100 bucks for the tires, and then to have him change them out and put new tubes and all that on there, that was another 80 bucks. So less than 200 bucks. New tires, new tubes, ready to go on this bike. So maybe this weekend we can get it off the blocks there and up onto its wheels, which would be really exciting there. Also met a gentleman there at the shop, works there at the shop, who had a 350 and just so happened to be in the storage unit across the street. So we ran over there and he showed me their 350. So really exciting. He said that was the first brand new bike he ever bought, was a 1973 rd350. So I've got a source now to go to if I have questions when I'm putting this all together. Doing a little bit of painting, getting things back together, and I'll keep you guys updated. Okay guys, also wanted to give you a quick look here. Here are the badges, stinking badges, painted white, repainted them with that paint I told you about. I think I did about 3 coats, and now we'll do the black letters on the inside, and then the tops there were silver, or just the regular brushed aluminum. So then we'll flip this over and kind of sand off the tops. I also started getting my console in order, put the jewels in there, a little bit of paint. I cleared the outside of these. I know they look really glossy, but these are covered, you don't see them. But I wanted something to cover, especially on this one, the little bit of rust where it had gone through, and I've sanded and sanded till I can't get any more off. But this looks okay. Magoo, what's going on with you? What are you doing, Bella? And then got this, took my hammer and dolly and got a couple dents out of there. And I went ahead and sprayed it with clear too. And that will, wrong way. That'll go on there like that, glue it down, and then start putting together my console here. So probably get that this weekend. I'm getting quotes on paint. It's harder than what I thought it would be. The bike shop gave me the name of a couple guys. One guy didn't call me back. I think he's just got more business than he knows what to do with right now. The other guy emailed with him, sent him pictures, actually pointed him to the YouTube. And he wasn't comfortable doing it. He's a professional, I mean a serious professional painter. And I think it was because of the body work that I had done in the urethane. He wanted to, have done the body work himself. And I totally get that. I mean, if I were going for a custom chopper look, yeah, I'd want somebody who guaranteed their work 120%. And his price, reflects that. He quoted me, if he were to rip everything out and start over fresh, $1,200, I think. So I was a little disappointed about that. I talked to a couple other people here in Brownsburg that are just, listed under automotive painters. And you can read about them, on their websites. But one of them's Performance Paint. They've quoted me $750. So he will do, it's fine that I use the filler, the urethane, or not urethane, but the 1K, so non-catalyzed primer, the filler primer, all the gray here. They say that's fine. They're going to encapsulate it with an epoxy primer, and they're going to do it in red, because we were going to paint the tank red. And then it'll probably be about 5 coats of red. He says red's a really hard color to shoot, just because of the transparency of it, which drove the price up a little bit. So I kind of understand that. And then of course he'll, be wet sanding or whatever it is these professionals do between coats. And then he'll apply the decals, and then he'll clear coat. The other thing, I mean, the difference between this guy I'm probably going to have do it for $750 and a $1,200 paint job is, if you feel here, you can just barely feel these stickers. And the guy I was talking to at the bike shop said that these were actually painted on, and now they have the reproduction decals. So, okay. The professional painter is going to make it just like, if not better than the original, where you will not feel the paint or the decal. It'll be perfectly smooth. And but that's not the look I'm going. This is not a show bike. This is just going to be a nice, pretty bike that I can ride for a while until I get bored with it, and then I'll build another one. So that's where we're at. I'll take these pieces over tomorrow, and it's going to take the guy, he said if I'm not in a rush for him, he'll just work on them here and there, and you know, probably a month I'll get them back. If I have them back before Christmas, it'd be great. I think it's the 17th of November right now, right before the Thanksgiving week. But I've still got another email out to another company, Indie Body and Paint, something like that. We'll see. But that's where we're at heading into this weekend. Today's Friday. So I'm going to work out in the garage, get the new tires on the bike, start putting some more things together if I can. Probably make a lot of runs to get new screws and bolts and all that stuff as I need them. But that's the update for now. Okay guys, do a little bit of video here on putting this chain on. This is a O-ring chain. Got my rear fender on. I think I showed you that last time. Put the chain guard on. Got the tire back up there and in the right way. Just looked at the parts list. But, you know, basically you've got a spacer that goes in there. This rear bolt goes through there. These arms have to go on. These are your adjusters for your chain tension and your tire. Went ahead and just threaded this on for right now. The brake. You've got a control arm here that holds your brake hub. So this was the brakes that I replaced, that when this pulls in, it does the drum brakes. And then this goes all the way through. Let's get back over to this side. All the way through out this side. Again, you got to have this control arm on. Then you've got a big nut that goes on there, and then your castle nut. So I don't have those tightened down right now. You've got to basically loosen up here these screws. Better if I showed you on this side. Oof. I'm too old for this stuff. You can see the screw in there. And there's a little divot in there so that these don't rotate on you, so you'll have to tighten those up. But use a rubber hammer on the back of your tire to just scoot it up so that it gets into place. Take your new chain. I just kind of laid it out here. Rotate it over the tire because I've got it up on its center stand so it moves. Through here, around my sprocket, back. And you have to keep thumping that hammer until you get it to the point where you can insert your master link between the two. Okay. There's O-rings that go on the back side of the master link. It's kind of like a two-prong, so you got two little O-rings, and it comes with an extra set apparently. Goes through there. Then you put new O-rings on the inside. Then you put this new faceplate on here. And what I'm doing right now is just taking a C-clamp, and I found a nut that will fit over this. You don't want it too small, you want it big. And then you take the C-clamp and tighten down on that nut, and that pushes everything together, and you can see the little divot right there that I'm pointing at. That's what your final clip is going to go on. And then I'll take a screwdriver and just knock that in there. And then your chain's on. Then you need to adjust this left or right on both sides till your wheel is running true. So you'll tighten, there you go, tighten this or loosen it on the left and right sides like I was showing you till your wheel is not, you know, wobbly. And I can spin it. I'm not going to spin it right now because I still got the C-clamp on there. And then you'll tighten down your bolt and your castle nut and put the cotter pin through. And the rear wheel will be on. So that's what I'm doing right now. Easy peasy. It's looking really good. Really excited. It's a horrible day outside, thunderstorm. Probably heard the thunder in the distance, which means my dog's under the bed. And yeah, stay tuned for more. Okay guys, just giving you the walk around at the end of the day. After I got that back wheel on there, I kind of stopped for a while. Let's see, here you can see, a little dark out here, but brake level is on, tensioners are down, lock screws are locked. My holder arm back here rotates just fine. I gave everything a nice coat of the mother's chrome again and scrubbed her down real nice. Step out here a little bit so you can see the rear end. Shined up really nice. Really happy with that. I think you guys all saw I got my chain on. So brand new chain. This is a 530 by 92 links O-ring chain. I think I paid, I don't know, 40, 50 bucks. But yeah, real pretty. Had to make a run and get a screw there. And I couldn't find my parts. Might not have been there. I don't know if we can see down there. Probably not. This chain guard attaches to that back swing arm back here. With another screw and bolt. Yeah, just really happy with the way this is all turning out here. You can see over here my parts are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Dropped off the tank, the sides, all this at the painters. So I imagine it'll be about a month before I get it. I told him I wasn't in a hurry. As long as I had it before Christmas, I'd be happy. I think today is the 16th, 18th of November. 750 bucks. All said and done. Nice guys, performance painters down here in Brownsburg. Sent them some pictures of how the tank has got like the swoosh. So they wanted to know the measurements, and plus I've got a spare tank inside. So I told them I'd take some measurements off it too. So I took some pictures when I was with the gentleman at Hoy Vintage Cycle who showed me his RD. So I sent him some of those pictures. Yeah, everything is starting to go back together. I'll do tomorrow. My wife started doing the badges, the little Yamaha badges that go on the side of the tank. She does my detail work for me. Nothing beats free labor. Anyway, really bad mistake there. So if you remember, I used the Rust-Oleum white spray paint on the base, and then she was going to do the insides with the black, and I had picked up some flat black automotive touch-up paint. You know, you just get it in the scratch and dent, you know, for your cars to fill in the scratches. Anyway, as soon as she'd finished the Y, it started bubbling up. So bad chemical reaction there. And I should have thought about that when I was getting it, but I was just thinking about colors and resilience. So what I did is I went back to Lowe's because I had to get that bolt screw back here. And got some Rust-Oleum flat black. Came in a little, I don't know, 6 ounces, 8 ounces, something like that. It was like $5. So now we won't have a reaction, but I'll definitely make sure that I spray it. And again, I got Rust-Oleum satin clear coat in essence. And I'll make sure I put several coats of that over it to protect that badge once we get it done. But she got about 4 letters into it. She said the brush is no good. She didn't like the brush that I gave her, which I think are the brushes I got at the dollar store. So we'll go tomorrow over to Michael's or something, Hobby Lobby, and get her some nice detailed brushes so she can finish that off. The one that bubbled, I stripped it in that citrus stripper again. And so I've got it back down to bare metal. I think I showed you earlier, it's raining today, so I really don't want to spray even if it's from a rattle can. Plus the temperature kind of dropped a little bit. So I'll fire up this little heater in the shop tomorrow, give it 2 or 3 coats, and then bring it inside to let it cure. And then she'll be able to finish up those 2 badges. Once I get the paint back, I'm trying to think, about my next steps. I'd love to get the, I don't know, maybe I should go ahead and do the forks in there temporarily, get the fender on. I don't know, because then I gotta take the tire off and slide the forks out to put the headlight on. Don't know. Still got to think about what I'm going to do there. I did get this. I think you guys might have seen here. It's back up on its center stand, which is nice. These blocks are just sitting underneath here in case it decides to tilt forward. But it's got a lot of weight on the back with that tire in there now. So definitely some progress there this week. Started working on the console and permanently putting it together. Actually, let me go in and, oh, here, I'm recording. And this is my artist, and she runs away, she's camera shy. And, anyway. Here's the Yamaha badge that I was telling you about that she was doing, but we got to get a new brush so she can get that. But I think it's a pretty good job. She didn't like the brush. I guess I can see some brush marks in there if you get close, but getting the console laid out here, and I've got everything fixed up here. Put some clear coat on the center. I've got it adhered there now. I mean, these marks and blotches in there were all there originally. So the only thing that bugs me, I've seen even on this guy's 73 that I saw this week, the center section was black. So I don't know. This one is kind of a bronze copper color. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I might end up peeling that thing back off. It's just a little tin piece. And then again, I might go with it. So that's where we're at for this week. And I'll be working some more tomorrow, weather permitting. So thanks for watching.